Blog 1, first impressions of Sam's early access. Hey folks, I'm back with some exciting updates this week. I've been lucky enough to get early access to Sam's, and I'll be writing this post live as I explore it for the first time. So, let's dive in. First off, wow, this is mind-blowing. We've all heard the hype about Sam's being a revolutionary experience, but honestly, this exceeds everything I imagined. Right now, I'm in a virtual park, and it feels sharper than any park I've ever been to. I don't have 20/20 vision in real life, and they scanned my eyes during my initialization a few weeks ago, so I wonder if they've somehow corrected my vision. The clarity is surreal. I'm just walking around, and it feels more real than any dream I've ever had. The details are so crisp that it makes the real world seem almost dull by comparison. I've never heard birds so clearly before, and it's like they took reality and enhanced it. I can feel the wind brushing against my face and the scent of flowers in the air. I know our brains fill in missing details, but here, nothing feels incomplete. Everything just fits. Right now, I haven't added any people to my simulation, but in the future, I'll be able to create entire neighborhoods full of unique personalities to interact with. Imagine strolling through your own custom town, where everyone has their own quirks and stories to share. What excites me the most are the adventures. You can visit any real-world location, cities, parks, you name it. But what really sets Sam's apart is the ability to explore places that don't even exist in reality. There are quests, like in a traditional video game, but here it feels like you're truly there. And as a huge fantasy fan, you know I'm gearing up to be a knight leading an army on an epic quest. For next week's post, I'll be embarking on one of these quests, and I can't wait to tell you all about it. Sam's won't be available to the public for a few more months, but by then, I hope you'll have a pretty good sense of everything it has to offer. Don't forget to check back next week for more updates on this groundbreaking experience and all your gaming news. Nexus.
Hi. I think I'm gonna test out a new feature from the artificial intelligence world. I'm gonna record my voice so that it can digitally recreate what I sound like. It says it'll generate my personal voice, so it'll create and securely store it. I'm gonna just assume that eventually my personal voice will not be secure. This feels like something easily recreatable, and therefore somebody's going to have my voice whether I like it or not. So thank you for keeping it secure. I don't think it really matters. That's what we're doing, is sort of looking into the future of AI and our relationship with technology and the internet, digitally recreating our voice here today. So this is, for me, October 30th, a pretty big milestone, I think, looking back on this story that I'm trying to tell, is when I took that active step to digitally recreate my voice. And this is something that I don't know if we're actually going to get to it today, because the voice for me is it's your most powerful tool. And so to give up your most powerful tool, your own voice, the most personal thing that you have for communicating with people and communicating with loved ones, giving that up, recording it digitally and recreating it, then it's something not to be taken lightly. I guess that's a little bit of the motivation behind me doing a lot of this stuff. So it's something that I'm excited and passionate about, and getting to be a little frantic, to be honest, because there's a lot of war going on. There's a lot of very real hardship happening everywhere, and it's hard to stand by and watch as these atrocities and terror and hunger and loneliness and just we're headed on on a path towards more, and it's getting to the point that you can't accept one more life being taken. I hope things get better and the world is okay, because there's certainly concerns that we're headed in a sort of self-destructive path. We all have a voice. That's our most powerful tool. So take back your voice and and shine your light, shine your light.
That's better. Mow the lawn.
Follow. 3, 2, 1.
It started with those of us that started to use our cameras more than we used our eyes. We were the first ones that voluntarily entered the simulation. Once the simulation started to be something people were talking about more regularly and more in the open, like you could just kind of talk to somebody in public and they'd probably have something to say. Right about then is when your internet got really specifically tailored to your specific desires and tastes. People started voluntarily choosing to leave the physical earth in place of the digital. It wasn't until I started seeing different versions of me that I realized I have spent my entire life building the simulation that we've all been concerned about. I've been training the system. It knows more about me than I do at this point. People started giving up their physical senses more and more for their digital senses. People like me started seeing the world through a camera. Almost everyone else started seeing the world through a screen. At first you would see videos of you that were AI generated, and you thought, that's crazy. I wonder what's going to happen with that. Pretty soon they were so indistinguishable that I started to forget if I was even the real me. We became the internet, just a bunch of source material. You see, we didn't realize that all those years we spent on the internet, chatting, and filming ourselves, and browsing, we didn't realize how that was going to be used. It's not like some dystopic science fiction, A lot's changed. At the same time, not a lot's changed. I pretty much live my life about the same as before. I don't have a job, but I have a stable income. Basically just looking through this camera, providing source material, experiencing the physical world, what's still real, The world still runs on the internet. You don't need as many people. There used to be 150,000 people in this town. Our last census came up just under 4. But I will tell you, it's lonely. Come, good boy. Okay, how tall are you? How tall? Whoa! Maybe I can hit it with a bag of poop. Ooh, puss. Here is where my grandma was born. I guess we'll find out. Right then? So, I'm pretty excited today. You guys know I've been collecting source material for a couple of years now, and more and more people I feel like have been leaving for the simulation, so I don't get to hear from as many of you anymore. But I just got this package in the mail. They labeled it source material and addressed it to Sam. I'm excited to see what you've contributed out there. Hello. So I'm happy to know that I'm happy to know somebody is watching. There's this note. Let's read this. It says, "Hi Sam, Sam, the Sam. Regardless, hi. I saw your video and wanted to reach out. It was the closest thing I've seen to something real in a very long time. But reality seems to get fuzzier and fuzzier every day. It's funny that I'm talking to you when you're thousands of miles away. I guess it's been around longer than I've been alive, but lately it just seems like it's robots and AI all the way down. Funny how the internet has made connecting with people all over easier than ever, but I've never felt lonelier. Loneliness. What a bizarre feeling. It seems like the root of all my problems, but I haven't been able to get rid of it for years. I think the only thing that would help now is just giving up the real world. If this place still counts as that. I've been trying for so long to avoid it, but it's starting to feel like an inevitability. I've been trying for so long to meet people. Hell, these days I'd settle for acquaintances, since actual friends seems unreachable. I live in Las Vegas, a true neon acropolis, now one of the most inhabited cities in the world. Millions of screens to sit in front of. The variety is as endless as the monotony. Everything perfectly tailored to each person, but somehow still exactly the same. Since there's so many people here, shouldn't it be easier to meet them, to talk, to joke, to bond, to connect? But no, it hasn't been, at least not for me. I mean, I know I'm not the best person, but I am real. But nowadays, well, why have real when you can have perfect? Why chat with a neighbor when you could talk to a bot that's perfectly tailored to you? They can be as witty, empathetic, or as polite as you want. They'll never say the wrong thing, and you'll never have to question what they're thinking. You can redo any conversation you didn't like and change your appearance with the clicks of a few buttons. I thought I wanted real. I thought I wanted messy. But maybe I'll take any connection at this point, even if I know it's fake. I guess that's why I'm reaching out to you. My last-ditch effort at connection. One more shout into the void, hoping against hope that another person shouts back. And if not, maybe it's time to join the void. Signed, a human. One losing hope. Hello, a human, one losing hope from Las Vegas, Nevada. I read your letter, and thank you for sending it. I was really happy to read, to see your handwriting, to know that you exist. I'm happy that you exist. So thank you. More and more I find myself thinking that we've made a mistake. We should have stopped and considered for even a moment to see, where we're headed. But somehow we find ourselves here. Whatever this is, being source material, it's not living, And lately, I've been questioning my own reality and if I'm even real. I've been providing source material for a couple of years now, and I have to say, I'm pretty lonely. Hell, I'm the only one who lives on my block now. But more and more, my friends and family, they made the transfer, and I'm happy for them. I really am. But the shitty thing about that was people left. People left me. The people in power started advocating for human rights. Not the human rights that deal with corruption and oppression or violence or injustice. No, none of those injustices, none of those things. All of those people were also left. They didn't advocate for that kind of human rights. No, they were advocating for human rights against AI. But that's not what it was about. It wasn't about being preserving humanity. It was turning us into cattle. Somehow we found ourselves as the cattle of information, the cattle of creativity, being raised just to provide that material, just to feed the simulation's insatiable hunger for information. Books that I had read, videos myself talking, contracts that I had signed, conversations I wanted to practice, and it was all through AI, obviously. And at the time it was the most incredible thing in the world, and I was excited to be a part of it. But I didn't realize, that all I was doing is like handing over all of my information. People would talk about it like, oh my gosh, like our privacy rights and the terms and conditions that you never read, and we just joke about how there's probably something in there that we probably should have read. Well, they didn't even need to put it in the terms and conditions because we just willingly gave it over. Because as I lose that human connection more and more, the more I crave it, the more that I need to find it. And how, I create these videos mainly as a hope that it'll have some kind of positive impact, or it'll reach somebody. It'll make an impact, I have to believe that that good exists, even here, and I'm going to do the best that I can to try and find it. It's an imperfect world. It always has been. Just when you feel like you've lost every last shred of hope, like there's nothing left, and I've been there, and I hope that you're not there. You may feel small in comparison to these large and complex systems, and it may seem impossible. But everything that we have that is good, it started with just one human. Just one human thinking differently. Even you and me, even when all hope is gone, you still have power. You are so much more important than you realize. You're important. You matter so much more than you understand. And I'm so happy to know that you exist. Don't give up. There's still a future worth fighting for.